Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip, and today we got quite a bit of news to talk about. I see it going on in the chat. Yeah, quite a few stories that are unfolding today. Of course, guys. Gary Gensler's on the thumbnail. We're talking about him. Is he finally at risk of losing his job? We got to talk a little bit about that, talk about the hearing that happened. Blacksea did a fantastic video on that this morning, which you guys got to check out if you haven't done so already. We're going to talk a little bit more about it today and some of the other stories that have been breaking since then, and a little bit about some of the iffy things he's done. On top of that, we got to take a look at the price of Bitcoin, of course, and crypto.com talking about some Cronos tokens burns, which would be very spectacular to see. Is the Cronos team actually going to burn some of these tokens, and what does it mean? We'll talk a little bit about that, our thoughts there, and of course, another big story, Donald Trump releasing a second round of NFT cards. Is this real? It certainly is. We got to talk a little bit about all these things in another live stream. Welcome back to the Crypto Report. If you haven't done so already, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're doing 5 videos every single day for you guys, and when we hit 10,000 subscribers on the channel, we are giving away $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to one lucky subscriber. Blacksea, how you doing, my brother? You ready for another stream?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here as always. Lots of news today. Really, it was a lot of fun watching Gary Gensler squirm in front of Congress. So I'm really excited to talk about that with you guys. But super happy to be here.
Squirm he did. Wow, what a session. I love seeing somebody finally getting to ask him the tough questions instead of these softball interviews, and we'll get into some of these clips, but that was spectacular. And I love how crypto had a little bit of a, everybody's kind of wondering, are we overbought right now? Crypto had a little bit of a dip. Gary Gensler goes in the hearing. We're kind of up a little bit today. 2.5-3% gain for Bitcoin in the day, back to $30,000. We dipped down to $29,000, kind of bounced off the bottom of some of these resistances that we've been drawing. Overall, how are you feeling right now, Blacksea, with the markets, with the conversation around Gary Gensler, where we're at leading to a bull run?
Well, I think that definitely my biggest range here, I know you guys will say it's kind of a cop-out answer, but really between 19,500 and 40,000 is kind of my range here. Do I think we could come down a little bit? Yeah, I do, but I will say that we are at the top of the channel that we're trading at right now, and usually when we're trading if you're stuck at the top of the resistance level, usually you break above it, but what you don't want to see is when you're at the bottom of the channel and you're constantly testing the support. If you're constantly testing the support, you usually break to the downside. But I do think that we could have a little bit of a consolidation from, let's say, 31,000 to 28,500, about that area. I could see that happening, but all in all, guys, I'm still accumulating. I think this is the year of accumulation, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as some big bad stories come out about Bitcoin every day, every week, every month, it seems there's something else. It's just been awesome to watch. We've been in this market, and we'll talk a little bit about this later on and show an old portfolio of Blackseas when we were back in the Neo days. We were buying some of that coin, but it's just been amazing to watch these bull cycles since 2016 when we got into crypto. No matter what the news is, when a bull cycle's coming, Bitcoin just shrugs off the news. And so when I look at this price, Blacksea, I could really handle any kind of big range in there. I just don't think it matters this year. So I kind of agree with you there. I just know we're coming into a bull cycle. And why do I know that? Well, we've certainly seemed to have hit a bottom. We called it on the channel. We see all this negative news coming out time and time again, trying to crush crypto. You see the SEC FUD and fury coming after the crypto industry. The crypto industry is pushing back, and the prices are just going up, just shrugging off all this news. It's a good flavor. It's a really good flavor. And if you're buying during the bear market, you are probably very, very happy right now.
Yeah, I would say that I think that a really good indicator the bottom's in is when you're seeing all this negative news come out and the price kind of just doesn't do anything, or it goes up. When you've seen all this constant negative news, it's kind of an indication, an indicator for me that tells me, okay, maybe the bottom is in now, and we should probably not have as much volatile movement to the downside.
Now, let me get your thoughts on this, Blacksea. So Bitcoin's up to 30,000. Ethereum kind of had a little bit of a catch-up period, if you will. Got above $2,000, which is spectacular. Up to 10.25% gains over the last 7 days. You look at Ethereum dominance, almost up to 20%. Now, Bitcoin dominance is still hanging on to 46%. I think we got as high as 47.5%, maybe 48% dominance for Bitcoin. But is this temporary? Do you see more Bitcoin movement upward versus the other coins? Or do you think it's an altcoin time?
Well, I'm going to dare to say the cursed saying of that this time seems a little different. I know, I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it because this time is a little different.
Yeah.
Sure, you got the 4-year cycles. And they definitely kind of move hand in hand and in tandem together. But there always is something in the next cycle that is a little bit different. And, something that I'm noticing is the attention that is being held throughout this bear market. And I do think that could be something or a catalyst that kind of keeps these altcoins, mainly the blue chips like Ethereum. I don't even really consider it an altcoin, but something like in the top 10 coins, I think that it could kind of keep them propped up and keep the distance between the Bitcoin dominance from going significantly higher like in the previous cycles than where we're at now because of the tension level that's still there. But all in all, I do think that it is temporary it won't be as severe of a move, but I do think that Bitcoin does need to obtain more dominance. I do think that it is temporary. I do to summarize what you asked. I do think that it is temporary.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But I'll also say this. I think that Bitcoin will get stronger in terms of its dominance here, as it always does as we go into these bull cycles. But I'll also go out on a limb and just say this. I believe that over time, Bitcoin will lose dominance. I really do believe that because though it is some people's, most favorite coin, right? And it's the safest, you could say, right? It's digital gold. I would say it's digital gold personally. I love to call it digital gold. And so I think it's fantastic. And then you could talk about the fact that it could take the market cap of gold, which is 13 trillion. So it's got huge upside. It could get a lot of dominance. Well, I would argue that over time, altcoins are going to get more and more utility, more and more attractive as well to investors. Because when you think about it, let's say you don't own an ounce of crypto. Just everybody in the chat, pretend like you didn't own crypto. And now all of a sudden, somebody hands you $1,000 and says, go buy yourself some crypto. Are you going to go buy a coin let's just pretend we're at the peak of 2021. Let's just pretend, Bitcoin's at $69,000. You have $1,000. Are you going to buy $1,000 worth of a $69,000 coin? Or are you going to go after a coin like CRO that is 6 cents where you can buy hundreds and thousands of shares, right? A lot of people, whether this is smart or not, would buy the smaller priced coin because they think it has more upside, right? Which is
unfortunately out of ignorance.
Right. And that's not necessarily a good thought. Now, I'm not saying that CRO Coin isn't going to outperform Bitcoin, right? I do think that actually that's a good coin that could and should. I think Ethereum should outperform Bitcoin. I believe any of the blue chip altcoins should outperform Bitcoin if they're doing well, really. Because I think over time, these altcoins will gain more traction. They will get more investors, and Bitcoin will kind of get to a point where it's already $500 billion. One day it could be $13 trillion. But then I think these other alts will catch up. So it's going to be an interesting game to watch. But yeah, I think there's a little more room to the upside. I just don't think we're going to see like all-time highs for Bitcoin dominance ever again.
Yeah, I also kind of have I do agree with that. I do think that we will not see all-time highs for Bitcoin dominance. I do agree with your thesis that over time Bitcoin dominance will range down into the side. But I also kind of want to talk about let's talk about Bitcoin dominance, right? Because when you look at Bitcoin and you look at Ethereum, sure, they're both cryptocurrencies, sure. But they are so different in what they do.
Mhm.
They are completely sure they might be the same technology, but they do such completely different things. And as these altcoins as new altcoins enter the ecosystem, and these altcoins are doing new and becoming basically the financial renaissance, and they become new and do new things that nobody ever expected, will we still couple those altcoins market caps with the Bitcoin market
Mhm.
cap when they're such
It's
different
an interesting
things? Because
question.
Bitcoin will be the quote unquote digital gold, but then we'll have coins like Ethereum, which is a smart contract platform. I don't know if we really should be even putting those two
I
together.
think
Sure,
we
they're both
will.
cryptocurrencies, but they're just such different products.
Yeah, I think we will. But now you got me thinking down another road. So you guys are literally just hearing us kind of hypothesize and theorize. These are the things that we do as we're getting ready for a bull market. You know, these are the conversations you should be having with your friends, with your teammates, right? If you got somebody you're trying to invest with, or you're building something with, you got to keep an open dialogue going. But it's really a great question, Blacksea. And now to that point, you agree that Bitcoin dominance continues to go down and to the right over time, with volatility in there. Now you're talking about altcoin projects and how they're different from Bitcoin. Will we really kind of loop them in with Bitcoin and keep them in the same category and talking about, Bitcoin versus these altcoins? I think we will, but I'll also say you got me down this other road where it's not only will Bitcoin lose dominance, it is proof that Ethereum will lose dominance. And what's crazy to start thinking about is a world where, and I'm going to draw a parallel here for the audience. So, a world where you are no longer going to CNBC, Fox News, Fox Business, CNN Business for your Yahoo Finance for your investing news. Instead, you're going to your favorite crypto YouTuber, which, hey, smash up the like button if it's this channel, or maybe it's another channel out there, or maybe it's a combination of 30 channels that you love and you go watch 30 videos a day or 5 videos a day from 6 different influencers. And we're moving to more of a world where it's not just about one project anymore, right? It's not just about Bitcoin. Of course, I got to get a little Bitcoin, right? I got to get some Ethereum. But now you're talking about a world where there's going to be communities building up. We just went to an event in New York. Blacksea had a great in with this project called Cronos, got me in as a +1. We went to the Solana event. Each of these communities, guys, the Solana community, the crypto.com, the Cronos community, the Ethereum community, these are their own little silos. And I think within that, there's going to be communities continuing to be built, and more altcoins, I do believe, are going to continue to pop up, and more communities will continue to be created. And I think over time, it's just going to continue to kind of spread out. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Adian, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Blacksea, you know what I'm saying with
Yeah,
that.
I totally know what you're getting at. And I think that's what I think that's what we need for mass adoption to truly take place. Just these little communities, the microcosm of the overall crypto community, all these little tiny communities, and these new coins come along. There's a new community, and that's, I think, how we start to really get into this true mass adoption. I think that's definitely something that is going to be coming
Yeah.
along in the not so distant future.
Yeah. And I would really like to see too, and I feel it kind of breaking down. I feel like, and maybe I'm speaking too soon. We'll have to see how it plays out in the next bull run. But instead of like a Solana community being like, no, 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 my project's better, or a Cronos community being like, no, 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 Cronos is better, or Ethereum community being like, Ethereum's king and that's it, period. I'd like to see all these communities kind of operate together. So it's been interesting to see some Solana projects go to Ethereum. It's been interesting to see how you can start to use some of the different platforms. I think you can use Magic Eden now, which is primarily a Solana-based project, in Cronos, in the crypto.com
Multi-chain.
DeFi app. Very cool. Very, very
Yeah,
cool to
it's
see.
multi-chain now. You can use it on many different blockchains. You can buy Ethereum, Polygon, Cronos,
Very cool.
Solana. It's a multi-chain NFT platform, and I think that really is the answer in my mind. I think
Yeah.
that going multi-chain with NFTs, and not only NFTs but specific coins. I think it's very important. Like
Yeah.
I remember back when wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ethereum first came out, it kind of was hard to really wrap your head around it, and now it's
Yeah.
a necessity when it comes to different DeFi platforms on different chains. And if you guys don't know what wrapped Ethereum and wrapped Bitcoin is, it's basically say you're on the Ethereum blockchain and you want to use Ethereum on Solana. Well, you have to bridge it over, and to do that, you have to turn it into another coin, which would be called wrapped Ethereum, and it's basically wrapped in Solana. And that is kind of, when that first came out, it was above a lot of people's heads, and they didn't really understand why this is too complicated. But as time goes on, more and more people are starting to realize, well, no, this is really important, and this isn't hard to use. And as time goes on, it's going to get easier and easier to use, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's very interesting how so many things in crypto, with DeFi and guys, and I love how you just walk that out and explain to the community. There's some people that are like, yeah, I know what wrapped Bitcoin, I know what wrapped ETH is, but the reality is there's a lot of people out there that are just kind of buying coins. I know it, and I'm sure there's a few out there in the audience, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that know 10 times more than us on any given any given project, right? Or any given piece of crypto technology. But it really is a lot to unfold. But when you really kind of look into it and then you start to understand something like a liquidity pool or like wrapped Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, it is pretty simple, but it doesn't come overnight. It comes over time, over weeks and months of reading, researching, utilizing these things, and kind of getting your hands wet really in the space. Man, I'm so excited. We got a lot of things coming up, guys. Blacksea's really been getting into the DeFi. We'll be talking a lot more about that. NFT projects, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement in this next bull run. We're going to make a lot of money, but we're going to learn a lot too. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of new things coming along. We're going to have some fun, but I do love this crypto report community. I'll tell you, this chat's going wild. Sending love to you guys in the chat. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of this squad. I think we got to get into some of the news, Blacksea. I think we got to get in there. Let's talk about
Let's talk about it.
Gary Gensler. Okay, so he got hit. If you didn't watch the video already, go back to the video Blacksea did this morning. Plays the clip of Gary Gensler sitting in the chair in front of this congressional hearing, just squirming and sweating and getting asked a question directly, is Ethereum a security? And then Gary Gensler talks about not Ethereum, goes around it, dodges the question. The guy's like, no, answer the question. We do not get to see this. You do not get to see this unless it's in a hearing like this. You don't see this if he's interviewed on CNBC. He's not going to get hit with these questions. And if he does get hit with these questions, he's just going to steamroll over them. He's going to do his talking points. Well, he got hit really hard today, and it was absolutely super enjoyable. How much did you enjoy this video of Gary? Let me know in the comments as well. But Blacksea, how much did you enjoy this video?
Yeah, I thought it's well overdue, well needed. I really hope that the way they were treating him is the way that they treat him behind closed doors. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's necessarily transparent, but I do think that it's a step in the right direction. It might be, as you once said, Crypto Kip, a dog and pony show, but I'd rather have a dog and pony show as the beginning to appease the public before we... I'd rather have that than just no talk of it at all.
Right. At least we get to see that somebody's yelling at Gary, not just crypto Twitter, which crypto Twitter is pretty great. I gotta give it to crypto Twitter. We have been hot on Gary Gensler's trail. He has been getting smashed on crypto Twitter, but it was finally nice to hear somebody verbally assault him. But there was a couple somebodies that did verbally assault him today. And here's the thing that cracks me up. So I was looking at Gary Gensler's Twitter this morning, Blacksea, and look at all these on my way to testify before this thing, and here I am in front of this Mr. Sam Rayburn statue. I want to realize his vision. This is just puff piece kind of thing. He wants to get people knowing that he's doing the right thing, and he sent this video, which I'm not going to play it, but this is one of those it's like motivational music in the background, and there's like all these little, oh, look, people collaborating, and then you got all these different like B-roll footages, markets you can trust for 90 years, oh, the SEC is so good. But look at this first bit. Serving at the SEC Gov for 2 years has been an hour. Can you believe it, guys? Can you believe that Gary Gensler's only been serving the SEC for 2 years? I read this tweet. I had no idea. You know why, though? Because I don't think I've ever known the name of anybody that ran the SEC prior to Gary Gensler, because nobody's done it more despicably, probably.
That's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it. I got a comment on that photo of him in front of that statue. It's like he's standing there like, oh, like I'm gonna go in there and be praised, and know that he was going in there to get to put on the chopping block.
No, I'll tell you though, I think he did know, and I think that's what makes it so funny. But he's not. If you think that if you guys are out there thinking that Gary Gensler's not a politician, then you're dead wrong. He's a politician. This is what politicians do. It's photo ops, it's talking points, it's circular talking points, and that's what he's doing. And he's getting grilled in front of this congressional hearing, which is so good to see. But it's because he's really done some shady things, guys. He's really done some shady things. FTX collapses. He has zero enforcement actions against crypto. And now, and by the way, they've filed 1,500 enforcement actions in the 2 years that he has been a part of the SEC. Over 50 of them, about 60 or so of these enforcement actions have been crypto enforcement actions, which didn't even kick in until late November of 2022 when FTX collapsed. And you do remember, guys, I'm sure, that Gary Gensler was talking in backdoor meetings for 6 months prior to Sam Bankman-Fried, the same guy that gave cash bribes to 1/3 of Congress. This is where this man comes from, right? And so you're talking about public's trust. You're talking about transparency, and you're talking about, these enforcement actions. It's awfully suspicious the way that this timeline plays out. And then the icing on the cake, Blacksea, this one was, I got it somewhere here. Okay, here's the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake was this. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler caught shilling algorand. And by the way, Gary Gensler considers algorand an authority. Well, what's the story here? Gary Gensler actually got on some footage. Him talking about, he was promoting algorand, but he was talking about Silvio Micali's algorand. He's a touring, this is a quote, Silvio Micali's algorand. He's a Turing Award winner at MIT I work with. Silvio's got great technology. It has performance. You could create Uber on top of it. So there he goes, breaking his own laws. And now congressmen are proposing bills to have him step down. Is it warranted?
Yeah. I think 100%. I think 100%. I definitely do. I really enjoyed learning about how they are talking about having a board instead of just a chairman to dictate all the rules, because, one person is easier to bribe than a board of people, in my opinion. And I hate to be pessimistic like that, but it's just how it's all played out. It's really how it's all played out with FTX and with the crypto space. It really is unfortunate, but it's just how it's played out.
Yeah. No, it really is very exciting to see that finally, somebody's not only talking at him in front of these public cameras and really putting him in his place, but now they're introducing bills to restructure the SEC and fire him. I'm going to play a brief clip for you guys to give you an idea of some of the attitudes. We'll talk about it after it's done, but I'm going to play. This is another brief clip I want to share with you guys. I'm going to play it now.
Chairman Gensler, your record of failures to protect investors and abuses of power make it clear that we need to restructure the Securities and Exchange Commission. The failures are many, but let me cite some of the abuses. You average more than 2 rules proposals a month. You provide inappropriately short comment periods. You have unworkable and unlawful ESG disclosure mandates on the market. You have essentially a Hotel California rule for crypto where you can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. You have endless discovery with no resolution and no clarity for the captives in the market. You have.
I got to pause there. So right there, he said, you know, you have endless, you're relentless on the crypto industry. You keep questioning them, but you have no clarity. We're going to talk about clarity in a second. That's the real big issue here. And there was, in this hearing today, he was asked directly by a man in a bow tie. If you didn't see the video, watch Blacksea's video this morning. Very clearly, by the man in the bow tie, they asked, do you think that you are showing clarity to these markets? And he says, yes. That is not the truth. We'll talk more about it here in a second. I'm going to continue.
Unworkable proposals for overhauling equity market structure, a de facto ban on crypto through proposed custody rule. You have high staff turnover, unhappy people leaving your office in unhappy companies and
unhappy people leaving the office. Now, I just saw a tweet the other day from the SEC saying that it's like the top 3 best places to work in the federal government. So what's the truth here? Is the SEC really a good place to work, or is it really a place where people are leaving hand over fist? You know, we really have a very limited amount of information. You know, you go back to 2022 and you think, I didn't even know that Gary Gensler was meeting with the FTX SBF until it was really came into light and FTX collapsed. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Not going to play the whole clip, but just to give you a flavor of the complaints that are coming out and where this congressman's coming in, introducing this bill, citing some of the failures. There's so many failures. It's so obvious that this man is toast. And back
I
to
think
the point,
that's very important to talk about the rest of what he says there. He says that a big issue is with Gary Gensler is that he's pushing capital out of this country. And that is a very, very important issue to be thinking about when we're talking about this emerging market that is worth trillions and trillions of dollars, i.e. the crypto market. It's not okay that capital is getting pushed out of this country for the United States. They do not want that to happen. And that's why I keep talking about how they cannot be coming down heavy-handed regulation on crypto in the U.S. Because if they do that, more capital is just going to go overseas, and the U.S. is going to fall behind even more so than it already has.
Yep. Thank you very much for the super chat, by the way, Michael Parker. Appreciate you. 5 to 10 billion CRO burn would be way more effective than 100 million CRO coins. We will talk about this, Michael Parker. I promise you. I will get to CRO coin at the end. Thank you very much for your super chat. We will address that later on, I promise you. But Blacksea, you're spot on. They cannot continue to do what they're doing. And here's another article to kind of follow through on your point exactly. Coinbase could move away from the U.S. if no regulatory clarity. I did a video earlier. Brian Armstrong is threatening again to leave the U.S. You know, and it's very interesting. And I talked about it in my video earlier, but in case you didn't see it, I'll tell you now. Apple had an attack on the Coinbase wallets as well. Very interesting to see. They're getting pushed back there. Now you've got SEC and Gary Gensler coming after all these different crypto companies. You're hearing things about stablecoin laws getting put into place. Brian Armstrong and Coinbase and Circle, another company, issued the USDC stablecoin. So these are all a bunch of threats that are coming. And you know what? CEO is sitting here running this company saying, why am I doing this? Why am I up against all this fight? I'm bringing innovation. I'm bringing jobs. I'm bringing money. I'm doing something exciting. I'm developing a new technology. I'm hosting the ability for people to buy some of these assets for these emerging technologies. What's the big problem here in the U.S.? And frankly, I'm sick of it. I mean, this is really the attitude he's got right now, and he's dead right. And I think that threats like this need to continue to be put out by crypto companies. And frankly, if they start leaving, you know, Bittrex just left the U.S. Bittrex is gone. Why? Because of U.S. regulation. Coinbase is threatening to leave. I don't think they leave. I think this is a false threat.
Maybe a turning point. Do you think maybe this is a turning point?
I think it is, because look, we've got this story. It's a great question. Is this a turning point? Here you got Brian Armstrong threatening this after Bittrex moves. And now, just today, they're talking about something to maybe fire Gary Gensler. And you've heard people complain about Gary Gensler, but this is different.
I think there's something to talk about when we talk about all these companies threatening to leave, because the problem is it's not U.S. regulation being the problem. It's that there is none, that there's uncertainty, that these crypto companies are begging for regulation. They're begging to know what the rules are so they can follow them. But the SEC is not doing that. Gary Gensler is taking his sweet time on purpose so that he can fine these companies whether he feels like it or not.
Yeah, it's interesting too. I don't know what he's doing. Because he is coming after all these companies, but the point is there's no clarity. So it's like you're fining without clarity, and it's like, just because we're the government, we say you got to do this, you must jump, but why? No, jump, but why? No, jump. Like, that's what they're saying. Pay the fine. Well, but what's the fine for?
Yeah,
because
they don't even know what they don't even know what they did wrong.
It's very simple. You just go on a website. Like, no, it's not that. And this is, you don't come out as a CEO of a company and put this out into the media unless there's some merit to this. So as he sits there in a hearing and he says there's clarity, here comes a CEO who's the leading CEO in America, I guess you could say, for crypto, and saying that's not true. There's no clarity. I'm going to leave because that's how little clarity there is on the same day. So what a crazy story. I'm going to be very interested to watch this play out. This could be the smoking gun that gets him. I don't know. Maybe this is a nothing burger.
It just shows he's a hypocrite. That's what it really comes down to. It just shows he's a hypocrite.
Yeah. And now I can't wait to see when he does step down how much money he really made from FTX, huh? All right, guys, let's talk Trump trading cards real quick. We'll get to some Crow here in a minute. Just getting you guys a little updates. A lot of news today, a lot of news. Trump got back on Instagram and posted his new line of trading cards, which, by the way, this is the second round. He made, I think, like 1.6 million or something from his first round. They sold out on the first day, which is crazy. People were laughing. It is pretty funny. These are very funny looking NFTs. He's a political candidate, guys, in this next presidential election. He's coming back. He released the NFTs, made a bunch of money. He's like, that was so good. That was so tremendous. We'll do it again. He came out. He's doing it again. And he's launching a second one. They're for sale today. They're $99 a piece. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. So what's interesting, Blacksea, is, NFTs. You come out and you have 10,000, 5,000, 333,000 NFTs, whatever it might be, right? It's a set amount. They're rare, right? You got 21 million Bitcoin. You got 10,000 NFTs. It's a set amount, no more. Well, he comes out. He launches a second set of these trading cards. Unfortunately, for the people that were holding the first set of trading cards, that killed the price. It was all the way up to like half an ETH at one point, crashed by like down to 0.1 ETH in the last 24 hours on this news. Just curious, do you think that this price recovers? Do you think this is like kind of like a...
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think that Trump understands how to run an NFT collection, and I don't think he really understands the ecosystem of behind an NFT project. And so what he is doing is basically diluting the value of his first cards. I doubt there's going to be a significant difference in both of them, in the both collections. They'll probably be intertwined even. So, unfortunately, do I think the price will recover? Oh man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because he's just diluting it. He might just make more. He might just make more and more and more.
Might. I bet he will, because this is probably gonna turn into some way to fund his election. I was looking. He's raised like 30 something million so far for his next campaign. Think about it. He raised $1 million on these NFTs alone, which is really quite significant when you're talking about out of $30 million, 1.6 or $1 million now could be $2 million if this sells out. And I mean, there's clearly a cult following for the guy, and I wouldn't be surprised if they sold out. I wouldn't be surprised if this all came back. And then the presidential election comes. So it's going to be very entertaining to watch these cards move. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll tell you this. If you buy 47 of these cards, you get to have a dinner with the president. So we'll see. We'll see. The ex-president, should I say.
Yeah, very, very interesting to see. Very interesting to see. I bet people will buy it just for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, no doubt. I do believe. I think that they'll go up. Not financial advice, but clearly there's a desire for these cards. Let's talk a little Bitcoin. So Bitcoin getting talked about in a big way. You said $19,000 to $40,000 range here for the year. I like it. You got other people out there though, Blacksea, saying $45,000 in May. Is this possible to you, or is this more in the boat of Bitcoin to $1 million in 90 days?
I think that 45K is possible. Do I think it's possible in May? Sure, anything's possible. But when I start to see these articles like this, I kind of tend to lean in the opposite direction and think that maybe that's a time for a correction. A Crypto Kip, I know you don't like the sayings all the time, but sell in May and walk away is definitely a thing. The statistics don't lie that the majority of Mays are sell-off months when it comes to the traditional market. Not all of them, don't get me wrong. I know that we did have a May on Bitcoin where it increased by 100%. So that is a thing, guys. But I do want to say that sell in May, walk away, a lot of people do follow that.
Sell in May, walk away. It is true sometimes, but I'm doing it. We're gonna put it up to the numbers here for Bitcoin. It's a thing, all right? It is a thing. I argue, though, that it's more for the tradition. We had a conversation about this, folks, before we hopped on the stream, okay? But here you go. It's split, I mean, there you go. You're kind of in, I guess this isn't a bear market yet, but, you look at some of these previous years. Here you go. May, -15, May, -35. You got 9% gains. You got 52% gains. So anything's up in the air, guys. But I will say there's a lot of people saying sell in May, walk away. And I'll also tell you this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 green months in a row, which is pretty spectacular. I mean, you can't find a lot of spots where you're getting that many green months in a row. You can go back to 2017. We had 5 green months in a row. That was pretty incredible. Here you go. Another 5 in 2019 in a row. So
2020, you got 4. Yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah, it's important to look at that. I mean, we can't just go have green month after green month after green month forever, guys. But I do also say, I mean, February was only a 0.03% gain. So
True.
Can we even really say, I mean, is that significant enough to be a full month to the upside? Can we really say that?
That was essentially a red month. I mean, that month was red for a while. Especially the end, and it just barely got back above 0.03. So that's interesting too. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I don't know. I don't know what happens in May. $45,000 is possible, right? I mean, it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I don't think that it's likely. I think it's possible.
That'd be a very, very large move. It'd be a very large move. I think that this is the year that we need to accumulate. I'll tell you what, though. If the Federal Reserve comes out and talks some dovish talk in May, then maybe we'll have a different scenario. Maybe we'll have a different perspective. But as of right now, I'm not expecting a 30% gain on Bitcoin as of right now. But hey, guys, as a trader, it's important to look at different levels. And right now, we're getting bullish continuation. It might be when we're looking just purely at technicals, we are moving to the upside. So there is that.
Yeah, and you know what? You kind of got me thinking now too, Blacksea. If the Fed comes out, and we got Federal Chair Jerome Powell coming out, I believe it is next month. We're going to come out with another FOMC meeting. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head, but it's coming. And if he all of a sudden comes out and says we're not raising the rates, or better yet, they start lowering the interest rates.
Yeah. Or they come out and say we're going to start quantitative easing again because the banks can't handle the pressure, and we start printing money again. Honestly, if they come out and say that they're going to start printing money again, I think all bets are off, and I think that Bitcoin is going to see some very, very, very large moves to the upside.
Quantitative easing and an interest rate drop, 45K in May. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Sure. But probably not. But sure. I mean, I don't care about $45,000 Bitcoin, folks. Heck, I don't even care about $69,000 Bitcoin, folks. I'm interested when you're talking about 80, 100,000, 150,000, $300,000 Bitcoin, because I just think that Bitcoin's cheap. You look at it, and I think there's like 30 million millionaires in the world, I want to say. I think that's what the statistic was, and there's only 21 million
It's close.
Bitcoin.
It's close to it. Yep.
And there's only 21 million Bitcoin. One day, Bitcoin is going to be as close to sold out as it can get. And you're talking about fractions of Bitcoin. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. And there's going to be a lot of other great projects out there. And CRO is certainly one of them. But let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. So if you guys haven't done so already, by the way, follow Blacksea at 333 Blacksea on Twitter. Follow myself at Crypto Kip Tweets on Twitter. We will keep these tweets coming at you guys. I got to get in there a little bit more. I've been lacking this month, but great tweet, Blacksea. Can you tell us just what we're looking at real quick and just take us on a trip down memory lane?
So I was cleaning out my photos and I stumbled upon this, and it really made me think. This was probably circa 2016, 2017, probably 2017. And my portfolio is, Ethereum sitting at $291, Bitcoin at $3,300, and on the day, a 64% gain on the day, guys. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. And I was just thinking about that, and it's been a long, strange trip, and it's just fun to look back on that and think about how far you've come on your investment journey. You may be down, you may be up, but as long as you've learned and you've increased your knowledge, well, guys, we have another bull market coming. Yep. We do. We have one coming, and there's opportunities to really become financially free.
Yeah, and what I love too is here. You've also got the Bitcoin rainbow chart, which shows exactly, too, the truth of the matter, right? Blacksea, did I lose your audio?
Oh, you got me.
Okay. I'm glad you cut out there. I want to make sure I didn't cut you off. I thought you cut out there. Looking back at the past, this screenshot was from 2016, 2017. Look back to 2016, 2017. This is like 7, 8 years. What is this? It's like 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at this time. This is where this was. I mean, this is so crazy to start thinking about. Absolutely. Oh, you know what? Actually, it must have been even up in here. So you got like a $3,000 Bitcoin. So somewhere up in here. 2017. Yep. Way back there. Look at all the volatility, guys. And look where we're at right now.
What a wild ride.
What a wild ride. What a wild ride. But guys, we've been in this thing since 2016. I'm going to be in this thing until it ain't a thing anymore, which frankly, I just don't think is ever going to happen. Bitcoin's here to stay. You can't kill it. It is unstoppable. I think that's been proven at this point. And it's going to keep going up. So really, I just love this whole dollar cost averaging over time. Guys, we played with some altcoins that failed in the past. You saw one, Neo, didn't quite fail. I shouldn't say it's a dead project, but if you hold on to...
Hasn't broken all-time highs.
It hasn't. It didn't break all-time highs in the last bull market. Neither did Ripple, but Ripple's at least got an excuse, right? Ripple's got a lawsuit going on, so that's a different story. But it's a long journey, guys, and we're going to keep this content coming through the whole thing. So excited as we get to the peak of the next bull market. We'll have to see how high Bitcoin can go, but you look at this rainbow chart, $200,000-$300,000, sure, why not? It does make sense. I got to get into some CRO talk. We got to talk a little bit about it, guys. So, Michael, you were asking earlier, a 5 to 10 billion CRO would be way more effective than 100 million CRO. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. That'd be great for the price, but maybe a little drastic. I'll tell you, I'm not an expert on burning, but just conceptually, let's just kind of backtrack it a little bit. So Cronos came out the other day on April 11th, said, based on the latest update in CRO supply and inflation, what options do you think chain governments should explore? 88% of people said burn more CRO. I love it. But a lot of people then responded, said, we need to burn this CRO on a transactional basis. As the transactions are happening, that's when we need to burn it. So for them
create a deflationary token. I would love to see that.
Right. And they're working on it. So then here's the latest update is there's been growing discussions on this CRO tokenomics thing. And now Crypto.org's GitHub, which is great to see, this is real stuff, suggests implementing a burning mechanism to reduce the inflation rate. It is inflationary. It's not deflationary. We would like it to get deflationary, but it's going to take a little while for us to get there. If we ever get there at all, we'll have to see how it plays out. But then look at the proposal, and I strongly urge you guys, go to the Cronos Twitter, click on this article and read the entire thing. Read the details about this. There are currently 26 billion CRO tokens in circulation. So, Michael, to your point, 5 to 10 billion CRO, that would be spectacular, right? That would pump our bags, I'm sure. We'd make some money if we're holding CRO. But where's that coming from? You gotta look at where it's allocated, if that's even achievable. If they want to continue to grow and bring developers into the project, maybe they need a collection of CRO to compensate those developers, or do more of these accelerator programs that we've seen and incentivizations to get some developers into the community. So, though it'd be great to see a huge burn like that, I think a pivot towards a deflationary road, less inflation, would be really spectacular to see and a great start. And you see, it's kind of actually getting even more inflationary right now because the block chimes are actually getting better. It went from 6.5 seconds per block to 5.1 seconds, which is great. But unfortunately, the inflation gets a little bit worse with that just based on how it's currently created. So this would be great. You can go through all the details here to see exactly how this all plays out. But in the end, this would reduce the effective inflation rate from 2.49% to 2.1% for CRO, which is a step in the right direction. That's great. It'll be curious to see as the transactions get faster, this kind of balancing act they play of how much CRO they're going to burn. If they start burning at all, this isn't confirmed. This is a proposal. This is a suggestion. And if you like this suggestion and you're excited about it and you're part of the CRO community, or Michael, if you believe something else, then check out this article and follow these instructions here, because they tell you, this is a conversation going on. You can add your input, especially if you're a validator, by going on Discord and GitHub and joining the discussion. I do think they're going to be looking at this strongly and really taking the next steps, forward with caution. But Blacksea, it's pretty exciting. I mean, really. I mean, it's not some 5 billion token burn, but exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, I think that they definitely need to burn some tokens, or they need some sort of way to drive some hype. And quite frankly, I think they do have plans for that, but I think they're going to hold that off probably until we get a little bit deeper and closer to the bull market. I feel like based on past events, CRO Coin, the company, crypto.com, how they operate, really is they hold a lot of that really big hype news and narratives until kind of the heat of the bull market is really there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they already have some things in the works, because they do need something to drive the hype to get more people excited about CRO Coin.
Yeah, I would really love to see it. And I think you're exactly right. They are probably trying to be strategic. I'd like to think, too, that this metaverse launch that they have coming this quarter is a strategic move as well, because really, look what just happened with crypto. It's up 80% over the last 3 or 4 months, right? Are people talking about crypto? Yes. Are people starting to look into crypto again? Yes. Are YouTube views going up? Yes. Are the markets going up? Yes. All this is starting to go up. More talk on Twitter. People are getting more excited. There's more news articles coming out about bullish price predictions. I think they're kind of gearing up, getting ready, trying to be strategic. In the meantime, they've got, the 76ers. They've got all these different NFT projects that they're promoting, retweeting their own pages, which is great to see. But nothing, mind-boggling. The metaverse is a great thing that's coming out. That's going to be big. I think that's maybe the start of the big hype coming for this next bull run. I think these burns could be spectacular for the project as well. And then, of course, to just see all these little extra things to get people more excited. It's all important. But if you do look at the price of CRO right now, there's a chance, guys. There's a chance that we might not hit the bottom of this range. I don't think I'll call it a coin flip, really, at this point. I really don't know. And that's me being honest. I don't know what happens next. If we do break down to the lower end of this channel, this is CRO versus Bitcoin, or if we just make our way back up and test this blue line again, maybe come back down or break back above it. And now, hey, altcoins are moving again against Bitcoin. I don't know.
I think it's really tough to say right now. I think it's really tough to say because of where we're sitting at with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin sells off, we'll probably stay where we're at versus Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin decides to make it another move back up on Bitcoin dominance, it will probably come down. And to be quite frank, I do think Bitcoin dominance is coming down a little bit here.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if it spiked back up, but it is coming down. It's cooling off. I mean, it had its run. I wouldn't be surprised if altcoins ran here. I really wouldn't. Blacksea, do me a favor. We're getting close to the end of the stream, but let's get a little poll out. I want to know, do you guys think that CRO is done moving down against Bitcoin? Is CRO going up or down versus Bitcoin? Let's say in the next, I don't know, 6 months? Do something like that? Let's try it out. I'm curious. While we're doing that, I'm going to take a peek at Bitcoin real quick because, guys, it's really beautiful what's happening. Look at these weekly candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now a 6th weekly candle in a row for Bitcoin. It started red. We talked about this earlier. Dipped down to the $29,000 price level. People were saying a big retracement coming, big retracement coming. Well, a small one came. A small one came. And now it came right back up. And now it's green again. We had a little red candle. That was a wick. Now we're coming back up. I think we're moving up to $32,000 personally. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of these wicks like this where we had crazy volatility trading in these ranges. You know, you see what I'm seeing here where we had kind of this wedge. We were bouncing up and down to the top of the range. Overall, relatively flat. A couple exciting moments. Wouldn't be surprised to see a spike back up here and then kind of rebalance out to the $30,000 level maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But we're either looking at some point for a breakout above this $32,000 level or back down below this $29,000 level, possibly testing, who knows, maybe $25,000 again. What do you think right now? I mean, are you really stuck? Do you believe... How hard is it for Bitcoin to go past $40,000? You're talking $19,500 to $40,000. How hard is it in your mind for Bitcoin to break $40,000, which is still...
I think, unfortunately, I really think that that's towards the top end of my channel, and I think that it's going to take some serious Federal Reserve talk for us to get there in the short term. Now, if we're talking a month out from the Bitcoin halving, that's a different story. I think we could probably be breaking maybe into the $50,000 price range. But as of right now, breaking 40,000, say in like May or the next month or two, I don't know. I don't really necessarily think that that's the probability of that happening is very high.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, because here's what we got to go back to again, and we'll look at the Bitcoin monthly returns. There was a 39% gain in January. You had a 22% gain in March. How likely are we to get such a big gain again, like even in May, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe you could argue we're due for a downward move, or maybe we're due for some sideways action. But to get to the $40,000 price level, we'll need to see a 32.39% gain. Is that feasible in May? Sure. I mean, I'm not going to count it out. I'll tell you, I think that it's extremely possible. But we talk about this all the time, Blacksea. I just don't care. I just said this earlier. I'm looking for the $80,000, $100,000, $150,000 Bitcoin. I'm just dollar cost averaging. I'm not playing the volatility on Bitcoin. I'm not trading Bitcoin. I'm accumulating it. I will be trading some Bitcoin for altcoins when the altcoin rallies really start going. I will be trying to make more Bitcoin that way at some point, but we're just not there yet. I'll probably be doing that probably when we get back towards these peaks. As we're starting to look and we start breaking out, I'll probably start looking to maybe get into some altcoin action. I do think that the altcoins will be rallying by the time, at least when Bitcoin starts breaking out the all-time highs. I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't have been making massive gains at that point. I'd hope to see CRO Coin back to 30 cents, around that time, back to maybe even 50 cents. Hopefully we'll have to see how it plays out, but probably not back to its previous all-time high. I do expect Bitcoin to hit its previous all-time high before many, if not, majority of altcoins. What are your thoughts on that? What hits its previous all-time high first, Bitcoin or alts?
Definitely. Which altcoins? Be more specific with me.
Well, give me top 20.
Okay, I totally think that we'll probably see. Oh man, that's a tough question, Crypto Kip.
I'd say majority.
I think that
majority will lose to Bitcoin, in my opinion.
I think that Bitcoin gets close to previous all-time highs much faster than the top 20 altcoins reach their previous all-time highs. Yeah. I think there's the majority. When we're talking majority, I think that not talking exceptions, Bitcoin gets close to breaking all-time high before the altcoins in the top 20.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you look at some of these alts, and we'll just go back to CRO. I mean, back to the top of its range versus Bitcoin, 620% gains versus Bitcoin. So in the long term, altcoins could totally rip against Bitcoin and just totally outperform it. But in the mid term, if Bitcoin's going back to its all-time high, I would anticipate that a lot of the altcoins wouldn't yet be there, and then eventually would kind of play this game of catch-up. We'll have to see, guys. But matter of fact is this. We have a lot of upside to go to get back to the previous all-time high for the crypto markets. You got $1.8 trillion coming into the space. Where's it going to go? Is it going to CRO? Is it going to Binance? Is it going to Cosmos? Is it going to Algorand? Is it going to Solana? Is it going to Bitcoin? Is it going to Ethereum? There's a lot of options, guys. We will continue to talk about these markets, about the exciting things that are happening. Yes, even the Trump NFT cards, and of course, the Gary Gensler issues and lawsuits that are coming down the pipeline. There's a lot breaking in this space every day. We are dedicated to bringing the news to you guys every single day, 5 videos a day, 2 live streams every week, Tuesday, Thursday at 5:30 Central Standard PM, guys, PM. Also, we are giving away a loaded line at 25,000 subscribers. If you are a member on the channel, like Benny Blue Eyes, our excellent mod in the channel, if you are a member like Ron in the chat, like all these other members, you get access to an additional 10 entries for every single month you are a member on the channel, and you also get access to our private Discord where you can talk directly with Blacksea and myself, so make sure you don't miss that out. What else can you tell them, Blacksea, about some closing thoughts, I guess? Let's actually, we'll take a couple questions, but what else can you tell them here about?
Yeah, I would also just say in our private Discord we have NFT Alpha trade signals, and there's going to be a lot more coming. I'm really excited to bring some DeFi strategies in the mix. I'm really excited to flesh it out and just make this one-on-one community larger and larger. I love talking with you guys, and it's a blast.
Yeah, it is a blast. I'm looking through the chat real quick to see if we do have any questions. I don't think we had too many today. Yeah, I think we'll call it a wrap, guys. I think we'll call it a wrap. Appreciate all the super chats today, guys. Get some questions out there. We ended the poll. CRO up or down versus Bitcoin. 71% of you guys say up. I certainly hope so, folks. That is all we got in this one. Feeling bullish on crypto overall. Smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Crypto Kip. That's Blacksea. This is the Crypto Report. Don't forget, guys, to hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Peace.